never thought I'd hear a movie plot described as Barney dying and his friends take revenge. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new video. I just got back from seeing Expendables 4. I'm going to give you my quick thoughts and just overall general what I'm thinking coming out of the theater and what I didn't like, what I did like. If you guys want to read the short version, I will have this review kind of posted on my letterbox. Of course, it won't be as lengthy. But real quick, before we dive in, if you are new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, letting me know that you guys like the content that I'm putting out into my channel. And without further ado, let's get into the movie review. So let's talk about the good first. The first thing that I really want to talk about here is how much I loved some of these new characters. I think a lot of them were really unique, and I'm gonna get to a lot of those in a second. I kind of have like a list here that I just want to go down. The first big thing, the plot. I really dug what they did with the plot. I thought it was a lot more orchestrated, and it didn't just feel like they were just going in on it. It had a very clear focus, and I liked that. I thought that it just, even the way it was shot, felt more like they had a focused agenda in this movie, like a goal they wanted to accomplish, and I really appreciated that. The first three had that, but this just like really like it like found its footing. Probably my favorite thing is that the gore is back. If you guys have been a fan of the Expendables series, you'll know that in Expendables 3, they made it PG-13, eliminating a lot of the gore. Well, in Expendables 4, you get that gore back, and let me tell you, it is wonderful. There were multiple times just in theaters while I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, more gore, please. Specifically, I remember a guy just like got his head like chopped off. I remember even like when they did the whole Barney switcheroo thing, you got to see like the whole burned body. I thought that was really neat. Going into the characters a little bit, I loved a lot of the new characters. My favorite one had to be the character that Christmas meets on the boat that Barney used to know. He like originally he's like, oh, if I fight, I'll never be able to be the same again. He comes on looking like a sushi restaurant guy, like with all these knives and stuff. And I thought he was gonna be like a joke character. No, he is not a joke character at all. He's just awesome. He was probably my favorite new character in the whole movie. I just really dug what they did with him because all these guys are going around with guns and he's just like aboard the ship with knives. And that kind of fits him and Christmas's character going together well because that's what Christmas is known for, is his knife and his throwing knives. So I thought that was a really unique touch. I thought the actual mystery that they were going for, like who is Ocelot and how does he gonna fit into the story, I thought they were gonna bring back like an old character or something at first. You know, you kind of always expect the new like leader guy to be your main villain. And it was a little suspicious when he was like, hey, I'll go on the mission with you guys. And I was like, okay. A little suspicious, but I didn't totally think it was him. But by the time they were getting I was like, okay, it's gonna be him. Yeah, it's very much going to be him. I really love what they did with Barney in this movie. Obviously, Barney, Sylvester Stallone, is our leader of the Expendables. In the first like act of the movie, the end of the first act, he dies. He just straight up dies. So we think. And he fakes his death to reveal to the public who Ocelot is. But I thought that was a really clever move on his part. You know, the movie actually got me thinking that like he was dead. Like I really thought he was dead. I did not think they were gonna bring him back because they don't allude to it at all. They don't, you know, like when a movie does that kind of thing where you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna bring him back. No, this was not one of those situations. It did not feel like when he came back in the helicopter and helped Christmas at the end, I was like, whoa, like he's actually alive. That was cool. They actually got me. Swarto, so we get like introduced to the villain like pretty much immediately in this movie. I was all for his character. I thought he looked very distinct and he had his own distinct weapon. I think that that's something that they like purposefully did with him that I really liked. I just liked his attitude. He was cocky but not too cocky and just knew what he had to get done. And I like that like his brother was kind of with, like, I don't know, I just really liked him as a villain. I thought he was fun, just overall entertaining. I had a good time with him. And I liked kind of like the little revenge story that he had with Barney, thinking that he killed him. And then with Christmas, it all just worked really well for me. Moving on to the mixed part of this review. The biggest thing I want to talk about is the character Gallon. I already wasn't a fan of his father in the third one. I thought he was very annoying, and I know that that's what the character's supposed to be about. I know he's just supposed to be this very talkative, annoying guy. His son is even worse. Out of all the characters they could have chose to bring back into this movie in like some kind of reference, why did it have to be him? They had so many other good characters in Expendables 3. Expendables 3 was the worst one, but not because of the characters. That's a whole different story, though. Why did they choose him to bring back? I don't hate who plays him, but like they have to realize that he is not a fun person to watch on screen. You know, they must have had test audiences before this came out. I just wasn't a fan of his kind of character. The second mixed thing I do want to talk about is Gunner. So I'm absolutely thrilled that Gunner came back. He's probably one of my favorites in the series, but I feel like they played him off a little too much as a joke. Like, I know he's old. I like the whole prescription glasses thing. Like, I was okay with that. But like, I wish he would have gotten some more of him time, because you know he is a veteran on this team, and I would have liked to see a little bit more from him, especially because he stands out to me. Let's move on to the bad. The bad is very simple here. It's very simple. Where was Caesar? Where was Trench? And where was Doc? I would have been okay. No, I don't even know if I would have been okay if they went into this movie and they had some kind of explanation, or like, oh yeah, this is what happened to him. You go the whole movie, and I don't even think they mention their names, especially Caesar, because like, I can understand if like the higher ups like Trench and Doc weren't in it, but Caesar is like one of them. If Gunner's in it, where the heck was Caesar? I feel like I really miss Caesar with all his big firepower kind of stuff. He was one of my favorites since the original, especially because he's played by Terry Crews. Why did they not have him in this movie? I don't know, maybe it was like a scheduling conflict thing, but I really would have liked to see him in this movie, and that definitely brought it down for me a little bit, as well as Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Trench, and no Doc as well. So I think that was the only thing that the movie was missing. I definitely would have liked to have them in this movie. So yeah, guys, that is my review of the Expendables 4. Let me know down in the comments, did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you guys think about this movie? I personally think it was the best Expendables movie. The first one, I believe I have all the rankings on my letterbox. If you want to go check that out, I'll leave something here. I definitely give this one a 4. It's much better orchestrated. Again, the only bad thing is that they're not in it. And again, I really wish they were. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more movie reviews like this. Peace.